So yet again, we're seeing as Tulsi's numbers rise, as she gets more popular, as more people are like, hey, I'm actually a Republican, but I'm going to sign up as a Democrat for the first time to vote for Tulsi because she's the only one that makes sense so far. Out of all the
Modi.
people. Well, we'll have a separate show on Modi because I can totally unpack that.
Didn't we already go over this?
We did, but I guess it's not enough, apparently. So a few days ago, Tulsi signed support for a Medicare Advantage program, okay? And the internet freaked out. Of course, once again, we're seeing that the establishment decided to go on Twitter and go on Facebook, and just a bunch of people, a bunch of progressives got scared and said, oh my God. They started posting things like, oh, Tulsi's done. She's not for Medicare for all. I'm done with her, etc. And it's just false, fam.
Oh, let's get over here. Is it true, fam?
No.
It's not true.
It's entirely false. And here's why. So we have this picture here of the several Congress people. 70% of our Congress of the United States did this Medicare Advantage. This Medicare Advantage letter. They signed this in regard. And what's happening is it's being conflated with a Medicare for all, which are two separate things. Okay. She supports Medicare Advantage for now to help current Medicare recipients who are all the elderly to get their medications. But she is 100% in favor of Medicare for all, which she is on her profile, unlike Kamala Harris, by the way.
Kamala Harris has nothing up, by the way.
She just has like things you can buy.
Endorsements from politicians that don't even know what a platform is, don't even know what she stands for, but they're going to endorse her.
Right.
If that ain't some insider shit, I don't know what is. Sorry, fam.
But
go ahead.
She's 100% in favor of Medicare for all, which Medicare for all ultimately makes the Medicare Advantage completely irrelevant, useless, unnecessary.
Yes.
Okay?
But for now, we need it.
Right. So in other words, the report from Axios is misleading because Gabbard is supportive of Medicare Advantage as an option under a system where the out-of-pocket expenses would not be covered by Medicare. Because as you know, the current administration is already cutting Medicare.
Yes.
Okay. So that's one thing. Further, if you guys don't know what Medicare is, just let me clarify. It is predominantly used by the elderly. It's also very expensive, and senior citizens often don't have the time to literally wait for medication because they're senior citizens.
Literally.
And the Medicare Advantage program does not kill Medicare for all, nor does it bolster the current system in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. It simply gives assistance to those who need help and who are obviously mainly seniors or those who are disabled. And by the way, the Medicare Advantage improvements are always debated every single year in January, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's not the same thing as expanding the ACA or even upholding the ACA. Mm-hmm. Essentially, it's just it's a private health insurance industry, which is unfortunately what we have. This is the only protection that's capping the expenses for the elderly. And people are freaking out because they're falsely confusing the Medicare for all with Medicare Advantage without realizing that these are two completely separate issues and that the Medicare system, Medicare, only affects the elderly. So 80% of the people who are freaking out aren't affected by this. Yeah. Okay. And it's because we don't have a Medicare for all plan under the system that you have a choice. You can either buy a supplement or buy a Medicare Advantage plan. Medicare Advantage plans are often more cost effective than a supplement unless your employer pays for the supplement at the time of retirement.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in summary.
In truth.
In truth, Gabbard strongly supports Medicare for all, and she serves on the Medicare for All caucus.
Yes, she does.
In 2017, she signed as a co-sponsor on H.R. 676 and expanded the Improved Medicare for All Act, which would provide universal health care for all Americans. Okay, so she believes we should change our current healthcare system, which is organized by and for the benefit of big insurance and pharmaceutical companies and not for the people. So she thinks the Affordable Care Act was a step in the right direction, but the issues that remain with many uninsured people and high costs related to deductibles, co-payments, medical services, and prescription drugs. And other statements Tulsi has made in regards to Medicare for All include, It's time to take insurance companies out of the equation and pass Medicare for all. More than 500,000 families file bankruptcies each year that are linked to the medical issues. We need Medicare for all to prevent these tragedies. We need a healthcare system that puts people first, ahead of the profits of insurance and pharmaceutical companies. I've co-sponsored HR 676, Expanded and Improved Medicare for All Act. It's time we lift millions who have fallen through the cracks and get them care. So, one more thing, fam.
Yes.
Who else signed this nefarious thing that people are freaking out about, okay? Who else signed it? Let me tell you who else. A lot of people's darlings, okay?
Who else?
Including one of my darlings, Ilhan Omar.
I like
signed
her.
This. Ted Lieu.
Yeah.
Nanette Berrigan.
She's all right.
Katie Hill.
I don't like her.
That's a lot of
like
delegates'
her.
favorite darlings. Katie Porter.
I don't like her either.
Adam Smith.
Damn.
Harley Rauda.
No.
Tony Cardena. And Adam Schiff.
No.
But my whole point in showing you all of this is that several people, and there's way more than that. These are just the highlights of the more popular Congress people that signed it. So it is kind of a mixed bag. There are reasons why, someone like Bernie didn't sign it, but saying that, Tulsi should be completely discredited and that she doesn't support Medicare for all is completely ridiculous. Kamala Harris didn't sign this. However, do you really think she's going to be supporting Medicare for all once she gets in there? No, she's not. It's just this kind of thing where, she's running. And so she's saying she's supporting it, but it's not anywhere on her website. Same thing with Harley Rauda. You
Nothing
go to
on
his
her
website. It says we support access to affordable health care.
Which is code.
Which is code for not Medicare.
We're not going to, not Medicare for all. Adam Schiff
for brains.
Adam Schiff for brains. Fam, I think that's really what's really bothering me about this whole situation is that every time they put a little piece of red meat out there, and it happened with the Modi stuff, and I remember this conversation very well in the car. I'm like, yeah, fam, but what about the Modi stuff? And she's like, well, what are you doing? Do you know about the Modi stuff? Are you just repeating something you heard? And I sat there, was like, yeah, I'm kind of repeating stuff I heard. And then as we dug, whatever, jumped into the rabbit hole, we understood what she was doing exactly. She hadn't supported legislation that helps Modi or anything. She simply met with him. And not for nothing, it was her job to meet with him.
And she met with the opposition as well.
And that's what we want. We want people talking to our enemies and adversaries, whatever you want to call them. It's very important. And now, again, we have certain people online, not mentioning any names, who said that, Tulsi signed something like this and put it out there as a negative. Why don't they just stop and look? Because this woman's character has been on point ever since she walked away from the DNC to support Bernie. Remember that. I mean,
she
was
likely
there. She did
do it again.
She would. And she would likely support Bernie if he decides to run. We understand this.
We can't say the same thing about even someone like Warren. We can't trust that she's going to do that because she hasn't.
She stayed out of the game until it was time, and then it seemed evident, and then she says, I'm ready to jump into the game. That was Elizabeth Warren. We understand it. But the thing about it is that these progressives jumping on this news so quickly, I think we have to really stop before we say anything negative about a certain character that we know they've shown, they've displayed strong character before in the past. We have to look and see what's going on because there's an attempted smear across the board from mainstream media and the established against obvious. Tulsi Gabbard. Number one, she's the best on anti-regime, anti-war. She is number one, and that's
why this is happening.
Exactly, and she's even better than Bernie Sanders when it comes to Venezuela.
When it comes to regime change and foreign policy, yes, those are her strengths.
Yes.
And we have to stop being emotionally reactive to things without doing the research, as you were saying, because there comes a point where people just react emotionally, and then we lose. Not only do we lose credit, and then we waste time, but then it's like, we're not getting things done. We are not doing what we're supposed to be doing.
But I'm so sorry. I got emotional when I heard that Kamala Harris said she used to smoke pot and listen to Tupac. Why didn't she smoke pot and listen to Biggie?
But
what's going on with that?
Fact, we did the research and
we found out that Tupac came out 3 years after his first album came out, and Snoop Dogg came out like 4 years after she graduated college.
Kamala's like my parents'
Look it up.
There's no way that they were listening to Tupac on that.
Show no love to Biggie. Good. I'm glad Kamala Harris didn't listen to Biggie. You don't deserve Biggie.
Yeah, she definitely didn't mention him. I'm sorry, fam.
Okay, but what did you find about the Jamaican father?
We have a meme of the day. So this meme is that Kamala Harris's Jamaican father thought her stereotyping of Jamaicans for political gain was a travesty, and everyone's talking about it. He said, "My dear departed grandmother, as well as my deceased parents, must be turning in their grave right now to see their family's name, reputation, and proud Jamaican identity being connected in any way, jokingly or not, with the fraudulent stereotype of a pot-smoking joy seeker and in the pursuit of identity politics. Speaking for myself and my immediate Jamaican family, we wish to categorically disassociate ourselves from this travesty."
Well, at least he plays identity politics just like she does too, as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't agree with his stance on marijuana, but that's beside the point. Like,
I know, it's just the fact that she's using it for political gain, and her own father got busted. You've been exposed, Kamala Harris. Get that shit out there, man. You've been exposed.
I
Got
get
you,
over
Kamala.
your head being over there. That's
What'd you smoke? Indica? Sativa? Come on, what's going on? Were you in edibles? What's going on, Kamala? You ain't no shit. Let me give this. What else we got, fam?
So that's it. And I just want to reiterate about Modi. I'm going to do a special show on Modi again, because one thing I do want to clarify on Modi, nobody is saying that every single person knows the intricacies that have happened within the country and in regards to Modi. But what I am saying is that I've done enough research to know that the way we are perceiving him and perceiving people like Assad is very, very, very biased. It's westernized. It's myopic. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It is perceived in a way that is only hearing one side of the story. Yeah. I am not going to say that I support him in any way, shape, or form, because I don't. But I am going to say that someone meeting with Modi.
Yeah. I'm going to support her for that.
Something Kamala Harris did, something Barack Obama did, something multiple people have done, and I think is less nefarious to me than meeting with someone like Netanyahu and telling him you're going to support like Kamala has
what's the difference,
done.
fam?
Why is she the only one that's being, I guess, burdened with the whole the idea that, oh my God, she met with Modi, that means she's supporting these Hindu fascists? No, that doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean any of that.
I don't support the man, but I support you going to meet the man. That's your job. You have to talk.
Right.
You have to come to the table with stuff, whether we like it or not. We don't control what goes on in India. You know, if Modi has some power there, then he has to be met with, and that's the bottom line. It's not like she's going and supporting the man. She just went and talked to him.
And
it's so ridiculous.
She met with his opposition, and also I think there's the reason why there's not like so much of a call out from any of them, from any of the politicians that I've mentioned, is because none of the accusations that came at Modi regarding everything that you've heard about him killing people, being corrupt, all of these things that happened in India in regards to his right-wing fascism, none of them have held up in court, in Indian court, and according to the United Nations, none of them have been held up. Yeah. So she can't really make and say, oh, yes, this guy is this, and he's a right-wing fascist, and this and this and that. She can have an opinion, but honestly, it wouldn't be very professional to just make accusations that have not been proven, unfortunately, whether they're true or not.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing we need to stop getting emotional about. And there's just been so much hate against Tulsi. And by the way, I'm defending Tulsi because she's a progressive, number one. She's anti-war, and I've seen the media smears. Yep. And also, though, because I believe that she is essential to Bernie Sanders' the campaign and vice versa. Yeah. They need to work together.
She's got to be part of that cabinet if he wins.
I believe they are working together.
Secretary of State,
there's just so much. So we, as a progressive, if you're going to turn a blind eye to when someone's being ripped apart with false accusations, you are really being a hypocrite. You need to defend those people that are telling the truth, that are standing there. You need to do the research. You need to go and question everything. And I think, a lot of people are so enamored with Bernie, and believe me, I love that man. He's my guy. You know what I mean? Like, I cannot wait for his announcement because I know he's announcing, but at the same time, it's kind of like, no, like, I'm not going to sit there and watch a person get smeared simply because
well, I mean, right now she is essential to the, and I think people kind of they miss that disconnect. That's where the disconnect is. Excuse me, but she is essential to Bernie Sanders' campaign. Mm-hmm. More than likely, we've talked about and floated the idea of this woman being Secretary of State, which I think is great, and eventually she can be the president down the road, many years to come, possibly the vice president and stuff. But it's important for us to talk to all sides. Do you know who Tulsi Gabbard brought to the State of the Union? She brought a Kurd politician, and they asked her about it. So like, well, did that person like the fact that you met with Assad. She goes, she doesn't like Assad, okay, because she's one of the Kurds, but she understands that it was important for me to meet with him. It's important for us to all talk. And that's why she brought her there. She's talking to all sides. This woman is by far ahead of everybody else in the pack when it comes to foreign affairs, by far. And that is a huge, huge problem within the United States. Financially, all our money goes to the military-industrial complex. We change these regimes and stuff like that. It causes an immigration problem. It displaces people. It murders people. And she is by far one of the best when it comes to this situation, fam. So therefore, that's why she has my support.
Right.
Because she is a true progressive, like you said.
And nobody who takes on the military-industrial complex, first of all, is usually a veteran or it's someone actually serving.
Yeah.
And is going to be received well by the pro-war elite who are constantly, like she says, sitting on their ivory towers, sending young men to die in rich men's wars. And those are the kind of words I want to hear from a potential presidential candidate. And that's it. And that's it. That's the truth.
I think that's a great way to end the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Convo Couch. I want you to go out there, check out our YouTube, like, subscribe, share, like us on the Facebook. We have a Twitter. The Facebooks. We have a Instagram out there now, an Instagrizzy, whatever the kids are calling it nowadays for all you hipsters.
Jesus, fam.
It's out there, but we have it. For once again, I am Pasta Jardula.
And I'm Fiorella. Check us out on YouTube.
And Facebook. Convo.
Out. Bye, guys.